on, my goodness me. We've already had 60 plus kilometres this morning. One stage down. It's the first service. We're in Hallett. Where is Hallett? Luke?
It's a beautiful little place, about an hour or so north of the rally's base in Borough. So it's a really nice little place. I've enjoyed being here for the last little while.
Look at that road sign. Adelaide that way, Broken Hill that way. There's only about 400 or 500 k's between them. It's vast. It's a vast place. Let's go and have a word then with our crews as they service here. It's great. It's like the olden days of rallying, isn't it? Good old days of rallying where you take up the high street and you find the space and away you go and service. Listen, a little bit of rain coming down. It was an interesting morning out there, particularly for the first car or two on the road. Really loose gravel. They were hoping for a wee bit of rain maybe overnight just to bind that loose gravel together. They didn't really get it. So Stu Bowes first on the road in this magnificent Mercedes. It looked as if he was struggling a wee bit out there. Let's go and have a word with him and find out what the conditions were like. Take a look at the wheels as well and the tyres. As you can see, there's not a lot of wear on those tyres. That's kind of an indication of maybe just how loose it was. Stu, we saw you coming through, pushing through the stage. First on the road, though, it was a proper challenge out there this morning.
It's hard yakka, Cole, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And, we had a bit of a delay at the start. So I think we were there 20 minutes. So everything you do to warm the car up, to get the tyres up, get the brakes up, all that, everybody ended up sitting out there for 20 minutes or so. And then the start of the stage, a little bit looser than I would like. I definitely never wanted to be first car on the road, but that's the way it goes. And
do you reckon in hindsight, or with hindsight, that was a bit of a miscalculation last night? You maybe could have played the game a little bit for road position today?
Might have done this event a few times. You've got to be quick out of the blocks. And Andrew and Tom and a couple of the other guys here, they're pretty quick out here. They know that road out there too, and they know where to make the time up. And if I don't get a buffer on them soon enough, and, this morning's issue of just getting enough temperature into the tyres, that makes it awfully hard to stay in front of them.
So, in terms of the tyres, can you go with a softer compound? Have you got an option to go a little softer?
Yeah, we've probably got everything in the kit bag, Cole. We've got a few options, but it's a long stage, and it's the compromises getting them to last long enough to get the full benefit out and trying not to put too soft a tyre on. So it's just the way it goes.
Such a conundrum, isn't it? And it's just trying to work out which one is going to work. Not just me. Maybe you've got to look at it long term, haven't you? Not just for this stage. Yeah. Over the course of the rally, what's going to work best for you? It's not easy to work out.
Yeah, you got to stay on the road for what do we do? 350 k's out here, and you just got to one after the other keep those times up. That's the hard part. So to lose a minute, it's hard yakka. I say a minute. That's against overall, in a four-wheel drive Evo, but. I have a reasonable idea how to do this.
Good. There's a plan there, Stu. He's cracking it. My plan is just to drink lots of this.
Where's mine?
I'm very sorry. And see
you
that
like
shot?
The nice cups, and where's mine?
It is a nice cup, isn't it? This is my second cup. I think there's 4 shots in this one as well.
Second cup?
Yeah, it's 8 in total. 8 shots. Man. Fueled. I'm fueled up, Stu. I'm ready to go. Fueled up. It was really chilly. And they're saying that tonight's stages it could be down to 4 degrees.
You'll need Luke giving you a nice little hug.
No, I've got someone. Who's the guy that I met? There was a bloke, an old rally driver, wasn't he? He's giving me a jacket to wear tonight. He said,
Rod Jones.
Rod Jones. He said, just leave it at HQ and I'll pick it up at some point after the rally.
Somebody will take it home for him. He lives in Bathurst.
That's right. He was telling me that. Yeah, it snows up in Bathurst, right?
Well, my word, it does. It snows in Bathurst.
Wow, there we go. Listen, what are the boys doing here, Stu? They're just cleaning it out. There's no real problems.
No, we did have a couple of little adventures. A fair bit of saltbush in the front there. They've had to blow out. Bit of it on the ground there. You wouldn't be familiar with saltbush coming from England, but we have a fair bit of that.
I'm not from England. I'm from Scotland, Stu. That's like saying to you, you wouldn't be familiar with manuka bushes because you're from New Zealand. If I said that to you, that would upset you.
That'd get me pretty well wound up, I reckon.
That's how wound up I am, Stuart Bowes. Best of luck later.
Thanks, Cole.
Here we go. Not Luke the start that Stu wanted, but as he said, he does seem to have a plan. He does seem to be on top of it.
That's right. Yeah, the hard tyres on the rear. It's a fast stage and it's not a tight and twisty stage. It's really going to warm up those tyres. As we know, often in South Australia, the stages are amazingly fast, so getting heat is sometimes an issue for it.
Go have a word with Andrew. This car looks remarkably quick coming through the point that we were at.
Absolutely. He's second fastest on that opening 60k stage. Andrew, how was it out there? You're trying to manage tyres. You got man over there's looking closely at the tyres. Is it a tough decision to go out there again on the another 60k stage?
No, we think they're looking pretty good for what we've done. We're happy with where how they're wearing, so we'll get back into it with the same tyres.
Have you done a stage 60k's long before? It's a hard one to get your head around in terms of, do you go hard from the start? Do you try and manage it through the stage? What did you try to do, and will you try and do something different moving forward?
No, we start out a little bit slow just because we run such low tyre pressures at the start, just to let them come up. But there was nothing to sort of catch you out too bad tyre-wise, and we'll just keep it going. We'd not take too many risks, and because it's a long way to go.
It's a very long way to go. Best of luck for the next couple of stages. We'll speak to you very soon.
It's all about, the long run here. It's about strategy. It's about looking after the cars. Don't forget, 420 Ks over 2 days. The cars need to be looked after. The drivers, co-drivers need to be looked after. It's not a sprint at all. It's an absolute marathon, this one. And it's so difficult to get that compromise with the tyres, A WRC tyre these days, after 70, 80 Ks, will be absolutely shot. So you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of those tyres. You want performance, you want durability, and you want longevity. And to get that compromise between all of those things is really, really difficult. Ideally, I suppose you might say you'd go with a softish tyre if you're first on the road. But as Stu said, a softish tyre, even with that gravel, the amount of gravel, which is less abrasive, it's a little more gentle on the tyres. You still might struggle with a soft tyre through those 60 odd Ks. Let's have a word. This is great, isn't it? Let's go have a word with, it's Glenn. Glenn, is it Glenn?
Glenn, definitely Glenn and Tom
Dermody. There he is there. Let's go have a word with Glenn. And I'll do this one. I'll have a wee chat with Glenn. Glenn, again, watching you through that opening stage, the car looked great, but these long stages to start the day, how did you find them? Did you manage to find yourself getting into it okay, or did it take you a little while to find the rhythm and the pace?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. It was I look forward to been hanging to do a 60k stage, and it was great fun from the start. It was really loose, probably worse than I expected. We had probably a dozen or so oil pressure alarms come up, so that puts you off, and so we had one little off, but nothing too bad, but apparently it's just nothing to worry about, so I told them to disconnect the oil pressure alarm.
So was it just the sensors or something that were playing up? It wasn't actually an issue?
Yeah, nothing wrong with the car at all, but just gets you second guessing. But no, I'm looking forward to go and do it again.
Well, that must be a relief for you, because as we mentioned yesterday, it is a new project for you, and for it to cope that well with such a long stage must have been a relief.
Yeah, no, everything's perfect in the car, so hopefully this time I can go out and just concentrate on driving.
Tell me a wee bit about the tyre choice, because we were just chatting about that. It is a compromise always here, isn't it, between performance and durability. You're reasonably close to the front of the field here, and it is still quite loose. Oops, I'm spilling my coffee. That's terrible, isn't it? What a mucky puppy I am. Tell me about the tyre choice. Tell me about what you went with and how the decision was made.
Yeah, probably everybody would like to have the tyres I've got at the moment. I've got Pirelli's, had them in hiding, so I've been able to dig those out and get them out, so they're going really good. But there's virtually no tyre wear, which probably means I'm not having much of a go. So,
or you might have been able to go maybe a little softer on the tyres. Which compound are these?
Yeah, they're a medium, KM4s, so they should be pretty good. They're held up well, so at least now I can go out and have a crack on them. But it was really loose on top, so we were skating across the top, so I expect there to be some tyre wear on the next one.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again out there. Well done this morning.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Definitely a very, very team-friendly atmosphere across here with these guys, Tom and Glenn. They're servicing together in the service park in Burra, and they're together here again in Hallett. It's great to see the community aspect. We'll go and try and find Tom if he's around here. I see he's in the red overalls over here, quite dusty. He might have been under the car working, doing some things. We'll go and have a chat to him.
Well,
I know he was very quick on the opening one today, the
Everyone
60k
mucks in,
stage that we've been speaking about. Tom, you're nice and dusty here. Have you been under the car, or is little things happening that you've been trying to rectify?
Well, I don't mind. There's just getting in somewhere, but anyway, we're happy where we're at. All went well this morning, so good fun.
A key thing we've been talking about is tyres. So some people are going too hard on the compound and just struggling to get the temperature up into the tyres. How did you fare in the Escort?
We went well. We actually went out on soft Pirellis, but we drove, kept her at mid-range all the way through the stage, very little wheel spin. Yep. So we're very surprised how they've held up, because we don't have a choice. We don't have enough mediums for the whole event.
And moving forward now to the second 60-kilometre stage, are you going to change your strategy at all in terms of managing those tyres, or are you just going to keep going hell for leather?
We're putting on a set of mediums now for the next run through, and keep our softs for the night stages tonight, hopefully with the temperature down.
Is the road sweeping when you're going through those stages? You're obviously a few cars down the list. Is it sweeping much and revealing a really hard base on the surface?
It is, yeah. It's the road is actually quite nice, you know. It's midsection through the stage was a hard stage to read, so you couldn't take chances. And well, if we did, we know where it might end up. So we're glad to be here.
Keeping it straight and narrow, mate. Well done. Keep up the good
job.
work.
It's a great looking car, this one, isn't it? Well done, mate. We'll catch you later on. It's interesting, isn't it? Because we do have your two very long stages here that are repeated. But am I right in saying, Luke, that the 70k stage is the 60k stage in reverse and a little more?
That's correct, yeah. So,
So
they're using the same sort of roads, but then they're adding a little bit onto one end, yeah.
So obviously, you know, when you reverse the stage, the corners are different, but the straights will be more or less cleaned. So the first pass on that 70 kilometre stage, it'll be tough first on the road, but it won't be as tough as the first pass on the 60 kilometre stage.
That's right, yeah.
Cars. Let's head across the road, have a wee word with the guys across here as well.
Yep.
It's all happening, and there's Darky Bar Smith. We do like that car. That's the Capri, isn't it?
We're going to cross
careful,
the road
Pete.
safely
Pete, the
here.
cameraman. Have you pressed the on button this time, Pete? Well done, mate. Well done. Just double checking. Now, who's this?
Mark Povey.
Where is Mark?
We're going to
These are the cars I love. I love these Japanese cars. I really do. And they're the kind of mainstay of classic rallying. Mark, how you doing, mate? It's good to see you. I was just saying the Japanese cars are kind of, you know, they're what really make up the bulk of the classic rallying in Australia. And they're great to see because they're such hard, durable cars.
Oh, absolutely. And you can get a shell and build it from scratch. And with the rules here of club rally cars, you can put a later model engine and upgrade the transmission and that sort of thing to make it a competitive car without running the full classics. And this is what this car is, a club rally car. So it runs a later model SR20, 6-speed sequential, 5-link rear end with a 4.9 diff. With some quad throttle bodies on it. It's not a heap of horsepower, but it's good fun.
But there's not a lot standard about that, is there?
No, not at all, not at all. So, yeah.
But is that not the great thing about these kind of regulations with classic rallying? It gives people like yourself and engineers the chance to be a little bit creative and put together something that you think might work. It's all a bit, you know, not tried and tested. You're having a go at it.
Absolutely. And yeah, some good fabricators, you can get a lot of things done.
I'm not getting a lot done with this coffee. I just keep spilling it. I don't know what the problem is. It's maybe a little bit of jet lag. So tell us about this then. It's the Nissan engine that you've got in here, the twin cam 16 valve.
It's out of like an S15. It's a naturally, obviously aspirated SR20 with quad throttle bodies. It's just a strong, pretty much standard build with some headwork. Makes about 120 kilowatts at the wheels.
So what does that mean in horsepower? About
170 or something like that, I'd say.
It's plenty, isn't it?
So it's good. It only runs little 195 tyres, so the car's really nimble and works well. There's some good suspension that we have. It's a great fun little car. Yeah, it struggles against the high horsepower, the Escorts and, you know, some of the Commodores and things, but it's so much fun to drive. And like we're in the 50 club, being, you know, over 50 each, so we're having fun, you know, and we're stirring them up.
And that's really the point of all of this, is just to have fun out there. You know, it's a tough rally. It's one of the longest stage rallies I've come across in a long time, but it is about having fun at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and you know, we're competitive. We want to have a go, but at the end of the day, we just want to enjoy it and get the car finished and see how we go. Yeah, so.
Good run through the bus, and well done, mate. We'll catch up with you later on.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
All the best. Right.
Fantastic, Colin. I think that's about it. We've sort of covered everybody. Otherwise, we'll be doing too many laps up and down the street here, and you almost need to get a new coffee.
And I'll be spilling too much coffee. I want to drink some of this rather than spill it all. So there we are, folks. Just again, little flavour of what's going on here at the first service. Only 60 odd Ks done this morning. We have a lot more to come as the day progresses. Stick with us on the Facebook page and you will catch up with all our little updates throughout the day. There's a few more to come. We'll see you then.